Hey, friend. Welcome back to the Side Hustle Growth Podcast with your girl CJ. Now, are you still trying to figure out what side hustle you should settle on? First of all, make sure you check out the previous episode, all my multi-passionates out there. But I have a question for you. Have you ever been scrolling through social media, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, and you come across someone's page and they're doing something really fun and cutesy and it looks super easy and they have a plethora of followers and you know they're monetizing it and things seem to be going really well for them and you're thinking, oh, I can do that. That could be my side hustle. I'm really good at that too. Until you get to the point where you start it or you try to start it, you sit down, you do it for like 2 weeks, whatever, and you realize, this is not the thing for me. No. So today, what we're talking about is choosing a side hustle that aligns with your future goals, your future self, the person you're going to grow into, not your right now self, not what's trending right now. By the end of this episode, you're going to have a clear plan to make sure that your side hustle is not just profitable, but also purpose driven. I don't want you running no side hustle that you're going to end up regretting or you end up feeling really burnt out and losing all the motivation behind it as you already get to the journey. Okay? The first thing, when I talk about alignment, being aligned with your future goals. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I am one of them woo-woo coaches. I will do the yoga and the incense and the meditation. And you're thinking about alignment. That's probably where your mind can kind of go sometimes. But in this case, I'm actually talking about alignment as far as making sure your side hustle feels natural to you, like it comes very easily to you. It reflects who you are, what you value, what you're best at, and where you are trying to go. Because here's what matters. When you're aligned, everything just feels easier. Okay. Not necessarily easy because you're trying to run a business and that will take some work, but easier as in you're not fighting against your own interests or your strengths. And when things get tough, which they absolutely will, when things get tough, it's way easier for you to stick it out because you're doing something that you actually care about. That's something that you actually want to see it blossom. You actually want to see where this can take you and where you can take it as you focus on your future self. On the flip side of this, when your side hustle isn't aligned, it could just feel really bogged down and it feels like a chore. It feels like you're always dragging your feet and you're going to be questioning why you even started in the first place. The reason why I can talk about this is because I've been there. Over a decade ago when I was still at my 9 to 5, there were some side hustles I started because it looked profitable or it looked easy or it's like, oh, I'm really good at this, until I tried to turn it into a business and realized I don't want to do this long term. And I just kind of let it fall by the wayside because I don't want to do it anymore. So no alignment means no results. Lesson learned. Another really good thing to do is visualizing your future self, because this is for your future goals, the person you're growing into. How do you figure out what's aligned for you? Well, get clear on your future self. Actually picture her. Who is she? What's her vibe? What kind of life is she living? What did she do in order to be able to live that life? To visualize what the things you can do is close your eyes. Okay, unless you're driving. Please do not close your eyes if you are driving. But if you are able to close your eyes, actually close your eyes and picture her. Think about that person, that woman you're growing into, evolving into 5 years from now, or 7 or 10 years, if you want to think that far ahead. And what kind of work lights you up? What are you doing? And that you are actually really enjoying your life. Do you want to be doing just something that remains on the side? Do you want to be running a full-time empire? What's most important to you? How much money are you bringing in? What are you doing in order to generate consistent income? And what is that allowing you to do to be able to have that consistent income, to have that kind of life? What are the things you're doing to be able to enjoy that life? Now, okay, let's get practical and think about what's important to you. Are you big on freedom? Is it creativity, helping others? Like write down your top 3 to 5 values. This is actually an exercise I go through with my clients, figuring out your core values because if your side hustle isn't aligned with these, then you're just setting yourself up for frustration. So I will make them write down, I'll give them a list of words, a bunch of words, and then give them a few scenarios. You pick 10, then you pick 5, then you pick 3. What is most important to you? That is so key in being able to find alignment and in being able to find something that is not just aligned, but aligned with your future self. You can see yourself doing it 5, 10 years from now. And last but not least, of course, you think about what are you good at? Don't sleep on your skills, sis. Maybe you're really good at organizing. Maybe it's design, photography, connecting with people. Your side hustle should be a mix of what you're good at and what makes you feel alive. Is the next step, choosing the right side hustle. Now you understand what alignment means. It feels good. It feels right. It makes sense. Now you also have a clear vision. You'll be able to visualize yourself. You know what's important to you, what you're good at, what sparks joy, what makes you feel alive. You see your life improving 5, 10 years from now because you are feeling aligned. Here's a little bit of a checklist for you to choose the right side hustle. And I'll go into why it's important to really understand what you need to go through in order to choose the right side hustle. Think about, does it align with your long-term vision? Now you understand what alignment means. If you see yourself running your own business one day, does this side hustle set the foundation for that? Or are you just hopping on the latest trend? Think about, does it fit into your current life? Does it make sense? Do you have the bandwidth for it, the capacity, the space to do this right now? Because you have a full-time job. Either you may have kids or your partner, or you care for loved ones or older parents, whatever the situation might be in your personal life. You're also trying to find time for self-care. So you need something that works with your schedule and not against it. What do you have the capacity to work on right now that makes sense and fits into your current life and lifestyle? Another thing, think about if there is a demand for it. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. However, you do want to solve a problem that people may have, or you might want to fill some gap. You realize that this is something that people need. This is something that I'm really good at. This is something that sparks joy for me. And I can see myself really growing into this, something that people really care about. And you are the one that can solve that problem because you have found the alignment. Is there a demand for it? And I know it's tempting to pick something just because it looks profitable. You're scrolling through social media again and you're just like, I can do that. That worked for her. I can totally do that too. And I can make the time for it because it looks so easy. But long-term success comes from alignment, my friend, not quick cash grabs. Okay, so let me give you an example. Like I mentioned before, I have started side hustles that I shouldn't have because they were hobbies. I was really good at it and I thought I could turn this into a profitable business. And I realized I actually I don't want to. Not because it's a hobby or something that you're good at means you should turn it into a business. However, when it came to coaching, while I was at my 9 to 5, I really enjoyed coaching. I loved it. It sparked so much joy. It brought me to life to be able to help the people on my team with their professional growth and their personal development and honing in on their skills and improving themselves so they can move up and on within the organization. It turns out it was just a natural fit for me and my skills, being able to connect with people, being able to tap into and help people to discover and get that clarity and that confidence. That brought joy. Coaching just made a lot more sense than the skincare line that I wanted to do because I was just really good at making these products for myself. Why not make it for other people? That works for some people, and people have some very good, very successful skincare businesses. That just was not aligned for me. It did not make sense for me. So think about what makes sense, what works, what fits, What is there demand for? Does that thing spark joy? Do you see yourself running it 5 years, 10 years from now? Do you see yourself growing into that role? That is the most important thing to think about. And then now we talk about getting started, because all of this I'm giving you, all these tips, and I'm trying to guide you into choosing the right side hustle, finding something that's aligned. You're thinking, okay, CJ, this is all great, but where do I even start? Breathe, first of all. And then you want to start small. You want to think baby steps. You're not trying to go all in. You just have to make sure you are getting started. So if it's coaching, you're trying to figure out how to attract that one client, that first client, what that offer is going to be, and how you're going to get that offer in front of that client. If you're going to launch a product, start with one product. Is it going to be a digital product? Is it actually a physical product? Think about all of those things as well. You want to be able to just kind of dip your toe into it. If it doesn't quite feel right, you might have to pivot. You might have to adapt. You might have to tweak. Some things are just not going to work out. The key is just to get started. I always talk about the 0 to 100 mentality. You're at 0, your mind's at 100. Come back and just start at step 1. What is your step 1? Now let's talk about mindset for a sec. Of course, TJ's going to talk about mindset. When it comes to starting, you don't have to be perfect. Perfectionism leads to procrastination, and then you don't get started because you have to have all the ducks in a row. All these things have to be working. All these moving parts have to be flowing and to be a well-oiled machine. Just take the one thing and get that clarity on it, build that confidence, and then it will spark wanting to take action. It really is about taking action. What are you confident about taking action? What have you gotten clarity on? What can you be consistent in so that you can grow this business, so that you can turn it into its own thing, so that you can see yourself running this 5 years from now? When it comes to starting, you're thinking small. Yes, the goal is big. Yes, you're thinking about 5 years from now. But to get to 5 years from now, there has to be a day one. What can you start on right now? What can you work on right now? What makes sense for right now? Start small and add to it and build on that, just as long as you get started. It doesn't have to be perfect. Things are going to change. Things are going to grow. Things are going to evolve. That is just the nature of how this goes, this journey goes, as long as you can start, my friend. And on the topic of starting, getting motivated, finding alignment, building a foundation for the life that you've been dreaming about. Maybe you didn't even consider a side hustle until you listen to this episode. Because you know what? There's something in you, I really want you to be able to at least pursue it. But it has to align with you, make sense to you, your strengths, your values, your vision. If you are ready to dig a little bit deeper, you need some guidance, you need some one-on-one support, let's connect. We can chat for just 15 minutes. A 15-minute vibe check is all we can start with, all we need to start with. I'd love to help you to create that side hustle that's not just profitable. It feels good to run because it's purpose driven. So check the link or visit KristenNJames.com and let's jump on that chat. Or you can ask me about the Side Hustle Her Club, where there are other women like you who are on the journey. They're figuring out their journey. They started a journey. They realize they have to pivot. They have to tweak. There's some things that are not working. They want to try something else and they need the support. They need the clarity. They need the accountability to get through that. That might just be the place for you so that you can get started. You can take your step 1. It is 2025. It is still early in the new year. Let's get started. Let's take action, my friend. So thank you so much for joining me today. And if you found this episode useful, valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Don't be selfish. We're not selfish around here. Share it with a friend, a side hustle friend, or a friend that's been trying to figure out if they should start a side hustle, or that friend that you see that's really good at something. And you know that if they were just to apply themselves or get a plan or a goal in place, they can turn it into a side hustle and they can chat with the girl CJ. I appreciate you so much. I hope you continue to hang out with me, subscribe, like, comment, do all those beautiful things and stay on this journey to side hustle success. I will see you next week, my friend. Until then, bye.